Hey everyone, so not too long ago, Alien Romulus came out and I thought the movie was fantastic. So I thought now's the perfect time to rank all the Alien movies and see where that stacks up against the rest. So before we get started, I would like to say I'm not going to put the Alien versus Predator movies in this video because that's going to be a separate video where I rank the Predator and the Alien franchises together. I just wanted to get the Alien one out right now. So in last place, easily, we have Alien Resurrections. Now, Alien Resurrections is a complete abomination of a film. I think it's awful, and one of the main reasons for that is Joss Whedon. I think his writing style is horrible. I think his sense of humor is really bad. It doesn't fit the Alien franchise at all, and I think that movie is an entire mess. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, and I still remember how much I hate it because it completely betrayed everything about the Alien franchise. And a little bit of a spoiler warning here if you haven't seen it. They completely destroyed Sigourney Weaver's character. They cloned her, made her the queen of the aliens, and she basically birthed another alien. It was one of the stupidest plot lines that I think I've ever seen in any movie, so it definitely comes in last place. So coming in at number 6, we have Alien 3. Now this movie's not completely awful. I ended up rating it a 4 out of 10 when I watched it for the first time, and I don't think it's amazing by any means. It's not the worst movie ever, but I think there's a lot of problems with it. So the setting isn't too bad, but the use of CGI aliens in this movie instead of practical really hurts the final product because it looks much more cheesy and fake. Whereas the original two films, they used puppets almost the entire time, and the movie just looks way better. So Alien 3 comes along and it diverts off this path, and it's just so much worse in every single way. Not to mention, David Fincher is historically known for hating his own movie, and I can see why, because the studios completely butchered his script, and I could tell this is not the movie that David Fincher wanted to make, and I think the movie suffers for that. So coming in at number 5, we have Alien Covenant, and now from here on out, all these scores are very positive because I love the rest of these movies. So Alien Covenant comes in at number 5 because in the grand scheme of the Alien franchise, it's not the most memorable, but it still has a lot of great moments in it, and I think the theme of it is great as well, whereas like the Alien sequel is more action-packed. This one still has that horror vibe to it that I think is really good, and I think it's a really good follow-up to Prometheus as well, because I love that movie, and I think what they did with the David character specifically translates well into this new movie, and I think it makes for a good addition to the franchise, and I gave that movie an 8 out of 10. Now coming in at number 4, we have Prometheus. And this movie, right off the bat, is a beautiful looking movie. One of the best looking movies I've ever seen. And that's because Ridley Scott really knows how to direct films and he knows how to make the cinematography look great. Now, the story is interesting as well. It's not as interesting as the first one, and there aren't as many horror elements in the sense of like the suspenseful horror, but it's more of an existential horror, which I think is really interesting as well and fits the Alien franchise greatly. The addition of the engineers and all this modern technology, but dating it way back, is very interesting, and the storyline, I think, picks up on that very well. So overall, it's not the best Alien movie just because there are 3 higher than this, but I think it's a great film, and I give it a 9 out of 10. Now, this is my most controversial opinion, but coming in at number 3, I have Aliens. Now, I love Aliens, but when I'm looking at the Alien franchise as a whole, between the first and the second one, a lot of people say you either love Alien or you love Aliens, and I'm definitely on the former side. I really like the sequel, but I don't think it fits the franchise as well as the first one because I think Aliens should be a horror movie, and Aliens definitely is not. It's an action-packed movie, and while there are some suspenseful elements to it, it's definitely not a horror movie, and that kind of brings it out for me just a little bit. But I think it's still fantastic. There's a lot of great writing in there, a lot of great practical effects. The storyline is great. I think the ending is phenomenal and definitely worthy of a top 3 spot. But the next 2, they got to be higher for a reason. Now coming in at number 2 is Alien Romulus, and this movie was absolutely phenomenal. I remember walking out of the theater immediately being like, yeah, that's a new classic horror movie. It took everything from the original Alien and it built upon that without feeling like just a rehash of the original. It's scary, it's thrilling, it's suspenseful, it's entertaining as hell, and it's a great story, great ending, great addition to the lore, if you know what I'm talking about at the ending of the film. It's overall just an amazing movie, and I think you should definitely watch it if you haven't seen it yet, and it gets the number 2 spot. But coming in at number 1, of course, if you know me at all, you know that it's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie of all time, and that's the original Alien from 1979. Ridley Scott is probably my favorite director of all time, and this movie is a big reason for that. I just think it does everything right. It's disturbing, it's suspenseful, it's scary, and I think it was really the first horror movie to do that, to do this entire like sci-fi space horror thing, and it still does it the best in my opinion. The cast is amazing, especially Sigourney Weaver's character, the practical effects, the lighting of the movie, the fact that you never see the alien fully and he just pops in and out and then hides away until you see him again. It's a phenomenal movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, you really have to go check it out. So with that has been my Alien franchise rank. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with any of my picks, if you disagree, and what your list is, and I'm curious to see. Thank you so much for watching.